All new at 6 o'clock. Only WBTV is getting an inside look at the process used by the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Board of Education to select a new superintendent.
Yeah, Dr. Crystal Hill was named to the permanent superintendent role earlier this month on a split vote. Well, now Chief Investigative Reporter Nick Oxner has obtained details of the meetings where board members asked questions of candidates and debated who to hire. And so Nick's joining us now live in the studio. So Nick, what are these new details that you've learned?
Yeah, John, the school board held a series of closed session meetings in April and May to conduct its search for a new superintendent in secret. I've been pushing for access to minutes from those secret meetings for weeks and finally got them just a few days ago. The full school board conducted their search for a new superintendent over a dozen closed session meetings. It started with individual interviews with 6 semifinalists before board members narrowed the list down to 4 finalists and ultimately selected Dr. Crystal Hill, who had been serving as interim superintendent. Specific information about individual candidates was redacted from the minutes, but here are some key takeaways from the documents. Board members submitted individual questions they wanted to ask each candidate. They then scored those interviews to pick who the finalists should be. Only one candidate was on all board members' lists of top 3 finalists they wanted to interview again, and based on the initial scores the minutes show, there was a clear front-runner. What's not clear if that was Hill or another candidate. Ultimately, the minutes show the board asked staff to conduct a background check and opposition research on Hill. They hired an outside firm to help with that. One thing 3 of the 4 finalists were asked about is how they'd handle improving Title IX reports of sexual violence, something I've been investigating for the past 2 years. We're posting these documents online so you can read the specifics for yourself. That's up right now on WBTV.com. John?